My name is Joey Clift, spelled Joeyclift. And then just so you have it, my tribal affiliation is Cowlitz, spelled Cowlitz. And I'm the writer-director of the animated short film Pow, which screened at Dead Center. And Pow is spelled POW! I'm such a big fan of the Dead Center Film Festival. I mean, I know it's one of the biggest film festivals in the middle of the country, and it was such a big honor to be able to screen Pow at Dead Center, and especially with the short being so focused on Native identity and the Native experience. It was so great to be able to screen it in such like a Native heavy region. And a lot of the Pow team is based out of Oklahoma, and there are a lot of like Oklahoma Native sort of Easter eggs in the short, like the mom of the family that the short is based on is Cowlitz, my tribe, and the dad is actually Cherokee. And we had a member of the Cherokee Nation worked as a consultant on the short to make sure that we got like the colors of the ribbon shirt right. Pow is based on really my personal experiences being dragged by my mom to Pow Wows when I was a kid. I'm an enrolled member of the Cowlitz Indian tribe, and I grew up on the Tulalip Indian Reservation in Washington State. And truly, like, so much of my youth was spent sitting in the bleachers, at Pow Wows playing Game Boy while my mom was on the dance floor. And, eventually as I grew older, I learned that, being really good at Mario Kart is, very useful and great, but maybe loving my culture should be like at least as important in my brain. So Pow really was a dream team for me to put together. We were supported by a really great grant funder named the Pop Culture Collab. We had an animation company called Flickr Lab help out with the animation. They've worked with people like Michael Moore and Stephen Colbert and a lot of other great outlets and people. And behind the scenes, we had a largely indigenous team working on the short. Morgan Thompson, who's a member of the Cherokee Nation, he's also an Annie Award-winning, filmmaker. She did the character designs and helped out with some consulting producing. We had Vera Starbard, who was a writer on Molly of Denali. So I'm going to retake that. We had Vera Starbard, who's a writer for Molly of Denali, help out as consulting producer. Jeff Carpenter, who's a member of the Chickasaw Nation, did the sound design for the short. It was really important to me that somebody who has been to a powwow and knows what a powwow sounds like was, handling all the sound design on the short. Jordan Kamalu was the composer on the short. He's Indigenous Hawaiian, and he worked with me on Spirit Rangers on Netflix. And he handled all my, hyper-specific nerdy requests that it has to sound like a Super Nintendo RPG, and also the band Redbone, and also traditional music, And then we had a lot of really great non-native allies helping with the short too, like Donna Carey, who was a former executive producer on The Simpsons, was helping oversee everything. Pow is in the middle of its film festival run. We're very excited to be screening at Dead Center this weekend. In a couple of days, we're screening at Bentonville Film Festival in Arkansas, and then our Los Angeles premiere is this coming Sunday at Dances with Films. And we're just going through the circuit. I'm traveling a lot. I'm getting a lot of frequent flyer miles. I think in the first 10 days of the shorts film festival run, which was in late March, I think I flew 22,000 miles. The circumference of the Earth is 24,000 miles. So I'm very tired and jet lagged at all times now. So I'm really excited to, send Pow out there and get audiences' responses for it at places like Dead Center. And then, potentially thinking about expanding other projects. And then outside of that, I'm currently writing on a show for Nickelodeon called Rubble and Crew. And we have a new season that just came out recently. So definitely check that out. And then I was a writer on Spirit Rangers on Netflix, which we were just nominated for a Peabody Award, which is cool. We didn't win. So it's, but a nomination is okay. And, other than that, I have a lot of other different projects that I'm working on. So definitely Google me, search me out, go to my website, and you can see more of what I'm working on. Oklahoma is incredible. I love this place so much. Partly because of the, wonderful, there are so many Native folks who live in Oklahoma who have received such a warm welcome from in screening this project. And it's also just a fun place culturally. Last night I ate at Cattleman's Steakhouse and had a T-bone steak that was the favorite steak of President Bush. So that was a very, a fun experience. I'm really enjoying just, experiencing as much of the Oklahoma culture as I can while I'm here. Growing up as a young Native kid, I loved cartoon shorts like, Looney Tunes and Pixar shorts and things like that. And I never saw people like me or stories that were, based on my culture in any of these, sort of shorts and comedy pieces that I loved watching. So in a lot of ways, Pow for me is me trying to create something that would have been cool to have when I was growing up. So, I really hope that for non-natives watching this, they see, a funny short that maybe teaches them a little bit about history and culture. And for native folks, I hope that, they just appreciate that, like, there's a funny native kid in this short film that a lot of really world-class talent worked on that, you can, I'm sure, see in your homes very soon.